Hello parents! I'm Mrs. Williams with the Ballet Folklorico group, and I'm going to teach you how to make the hair braids for the Jalisco performers. First of all, you're going to need to purchase a skein of yarn the same color as your daughter's hair. So if she has black hair, you want black yarn. If she has more blonde hair like myself, you might want something a little light brown, brown hair, brown yarn. So one thing of yarn should do it. You will also need the colors of ribbons the same color as your daughter's dress. So if my daughter's dress had purple, yellow, and blue ribbon, I would want to purchase 2 purple, 2 yellow, and 2 rolls of ribbon. And the ribbon is 1.5 inch wide, and it has the satin side, so it's the shiny side. This one says 1.5 inches by 12 feet. So you need 2 of these because you're going to be doing 2 hair braids on each side, and you'll also be making the big bows that go on top. You will also need a pair of scissors, a lighter for sealing the ends of the ribbon, and to make the ribbon stand up, you will need some heavy starch, some starch to make that ribbon stand up. Okay, also, one thing to make it easier to wrap the yarn around, we have a 31-inch stick, and we screwed in screws approximately 27 inches long on each side. That makes it easier to make the yarn go around. Now, if you don't want to make a stick like this and you don't want to wrap it around the screws, that takes longer to do. You can just grab a kitchen chair with the 2 posts, see if it's approximately 27 inches wide, or what we did with this chair is just turn it over, and we figured out that from here to here is approximately 27 inches, so you can wrap the yarn around there. You need a hair dryer for drying the ribbons after you spray on the starch. So you should have all those items. Once again, you need yarn, you need 3 colors of ribbon, the color of your daughter's dress, 2 of each color. So I would have 2 yellows, 2 blues, 2 purples. Once again, that is 1.5 inch wide, the satin side, and each spool is 12 feet long. You need a pair of scissors, you need your starch, you need a lighter for the ribbon at the end. We'll show you that little trick. And hair dryer. I think that's everything. And you probably want somebody to help you. Okay, that's it for the material. Okay, the first step is to take the yarn, the same color of your daughter's hair, and wrap it around one end of the stick or the chair if you're using a kitchen chair. And you're gonna wrap it around each side about 65, 70 times. So this will take me a minute. $65. Okay, so I wrapped this around 65 times. The reason we say 65 is you want the braid to be thick enough so it looks like the real hair and have the ribbon go through it. We're going to be taking a piece of yarn and sticking it through here and tying it off and then taking it off the screws. Okay, now I'm going to cut it. Take a little piece. And it doesn't matter which side, but I'm gonna kind of push it through there. You want to tie it really tight, maybe double knotted on the end. Okay, so that's gonna hold this end. You're gonna take the other end, and if you don't have one of these little sticks, You're going to take the other end of your chair. We're going to cut. Okay. Voila. Let's take this off. Okay, so our first step is complete. We have about 27 inches of yarn, and we have both sides for braiding to add the ribbon. So we'll show you that next. Okay, we're ready to add the ribbon. I cut another piece of yarn so that we can attach the 3 colors of ribbon to the end. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my 3 pieces of ribbon. And it doesn't matter if it falls on the floor because we don't know how much ribbon we're going to use. So I put the lighter color in the middle. Sometimes that looks a little better. I'm going to add my purple. And I'm going to add my blue. Okay, then I'm going to take this and tie it around the top. And I probably want a helper. So this is where you can have your daughter help you put these ribbons together. It's something that you can say that you did together. Probably want to tie it a couple times really tight because you don't want this to come undone while you're braiding the ribbon onto the yarn. Okay, now we're ready to start braiding. Okay, so now we're going to braid it. Miss Gabby's going to help me. We want to kind of spread the yarn into 3 even sections with the braid. Start with that. And then just like you're braiding your hair, make sure you hold on to the braid or the ribbon with the braid and try to like spread the ribbon out so it's on top of the braid. The ribbon's always on top of the braid. See how nice and tight? You don't want it too tight, but you want it tight enough that the braid stays together. You start running out of yarn, we're ready to tie it off. So I'm going to get another piece of yarn and once again tie it really tight at the very end. And sometimes I like to go around twice just to make sure that it's secure, because after all that work, the last thing you want to happen is for that to come undone again. Yeah, I've done that before. It's no fun. Okay, super, super tight. Then you're going to grab your scissors and you're going to snap it off right about there. This is your first braid. You're going to do this twice. Then we're going to take another piece of yarn, tie those together. And that is your first braid. But first, we're going to take the lighter and very carefully so that you see the end of these ribbons, you don't want them to come unfrayed. So I'm just going to take my lighter. So I'm just going to very slowly graze the end of this. There we go. That was easy. Try not to burn my finger. This is what your parents do, not the kids. Okay, the very end. Okay, to make the hair bow ribbons, you probably want to cut a small piece of extra ribbon about 7 or 8 inches. This one's 8 inches, and that just gives me a good length so that my 2 ribbons on each side are even. And I get my 3 pieces of the extra ribbon. So I have my blue and my yellow and my purple. I put a little clip on the end to hold it. And I want to go about this length. So you see the shiny parts on the outside. So I'm going to go about this length. I'm going to turn it over like a fan. And then sometimes I like to do this and put another one on the end again. So I'm getting that length. You can get rid of that extra piece. Okay. If you can see, I have 1, 2, 3 on this side, and this is going to be the end of the ribbon. And I have 1, 2, 3 on that side. Before I cut it, I'm going to make sure I have all 3 on each side, plus you have this little extra piece. So kind of even that out, cut it right there. I like to take the clip and hold it together because there's another step before we tie them together. Okay, so I clip both ends together. Then we got another piece of yarn that has to go here. But before we put the yarn on, we're going to put those very even. I'm going to make a little slit on both sides at a diagonal, but I'm not going to go all the way through. So I just kind of go to the middle there. Do the same thing on the other side. Cut part way, not all the way through. You're going to have to start over. Okay, right about there. So I still have a little piece. And that's where my yarn's going to go, so I can tie it right in the center. Grab another piece of yarn. Grab my scissors. Okay. Okay, I'm going to tie this right in the middle. Really tight. Doesn't come undone. Wrap it around the other side. Tie it again. Tight so it won't come undone. I like to double knot everything. Now I'm free to take off the clips on the ends, and then we'll show you how to twist the bow around so you have your beautiful bow. Now we've got our little thing tied in the middle. We're going to start pulling our ribbons apart to make the actual bow. So we're going to alternate. First I'm going to start with blue, and I'm going to separate these. You kind of have that little cut so you can twist. I'm going to go yellow and purple. Okay, then I grab my ends, kind of flip it up like a bow. Like I said, you can twist them so the shiny side's on the outside if you want to make the bow look a little prettier. And there's my bow. Okay, so I put on some gloves to protect my hands. I guess we should add the gloves to our list of supplies. Any gloves will be fine. You have sensitive skin. And if you can see, I pushed up from the bottom. Makes a bouquet. I've kind of arranged these where I want them. And so you want just a pretty little bouquet of ribbon. That's why we didn't want too long of a ribbon, because you don't want it sticking way out. It looks tacky. You want it to look nice. I grab my heavy starch. I want to bathe it in starch. Okay, that's probably good. All right. Then you're going to dry it with a hair dryer. Okay, sometimes you can put the dryer right inside the loop. It dries the inside and it makes it stick up nice and pretty like that. So getting the dryer right inside. When I'm finished with a beautiful bow, sometimes I like to just even off the ends of the ribbons here, but it won't really matter because you're going to do the same thing with the lighter you did before. Grab my lighter. I'm going to take off my plastic now because I don't want to burn my hands with plastic. All right. You take the end, the leftover ends, and I'm just going to use a lighter and do the same thing, okay? Do the same thing that I did with the other one. So we're going to pretend we just lit all those, okay? Now, do you remember those extra strings that you used to tie around your ribbon? You're going to use those strings to tie this bow onto your hair braid. I can kind of twist and arrange these any way I want. You see how the starch is making these bows stand up. So nice. All right, so that is one braid. And to put it on the girl's head, you get lots and lots of bobby pins, maybe bobby pins the same color as your daughter's hair. So whether it's blonde, brown, black bobby pin, I'm going to put it on the side of their head. Back of the hair should be in a nice bun, right? Just wrap it around. Lots of bobby pins for the back of the hair. Lots of bobby pins to put this on her head. There's nothing more embarrassing than dancing and having it fall off. So lots and lots of bobby pins to attach it to the girl's head. Her hair should be flat back with lots of hairspray, tons and tons of hairspray. You don't want any flyaway hairs like I have right now. It's got to be flat back, lots of hairspray. You make your second one, they go on both sides, and voila, your daughter looks beautiful. All right, I hope this tutorial helped you. Have a wonderful time, and please reach out to me if you need any further instructions on how to make these Jalisco hair braids. Have a great day.